With some say Gavin Newsom being the presidential front runner for the Democratic Party in 2028, what he's doing in California is going to have a big microscope placed upon it. People are going to be looking at what's happened in California and go, do we want this to happen to the rest of the United States, including why oil companies are leaving California? Why does California have the highest gasoline prices in the United States? Let's get into it. Here we go. On October 16th, 2024, the refiner, Phillips 66, announced that it will cease operations at its LA refinery in the fourth quarter of 2025. We covered that podcast. You guys responded. I think we had a couple 100,000 views, and we're doing some follow-up. And we're doing some more exploration of this topic because with the last, the presidential election, it became apparent that California, what's going on in California? That could be, what goes on in the rest of the United States with leadership is what it is. This announcement came a few days after California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a new law placing additional regulations on refineries. Now, the new law, it basically tries to level out these price spikes or these supply spikes when they've got so few refineries in California. They're already bringing in about 8% of their oil supply from the outside, and then they are dependent upon what few 8 refineries left now. And with Phillips 66 saying, hey, we're going to shut one down, you're having fewer and fewer. The ability to produce and refine oil into gasoline is being further constricted. And when that happens, prices go to the moon. But like I always say, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. That's what this whole thing feels like. It's just regulation on top of regulation, on top of regulation. But don't worry, it's going to level out the supply chain, which now the supply chain will cover countries like Saudi Arabia. Yeah. India. Okay. No issues there. We have another global pandemic. It should be fine, right? I mean, you're bringing in huge supply chain issues and this isn't going the right direction. The closure will affect approximately 600 employees and 300 contractors. Okay. Although Phillips 66 spokesperson denied in an email to Politico that the closure was a response to Newsom signing the new law, it did appear rather rapidly after the new legislation went into effect. Did you see what gruesome Newsom put into law? Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, we got to shut that bad boy down. It's already an old plant. It's not making us much money. We got too much exposure in California's, anti-government, anti-fossil fuels environment. Boom, done. Shut her down. And that's what they're doing, end of 2025, December 2025. So the news follows an announcement in August 2024 that Chevron, the second largest U.S. oil company, it will relocate from its California headquarters to Texas. Man, how many companies have moved from California to Texas? A ton. Remember during the pandemic, we had a massive exodus because people were already frustrated with regulation and state income tax and a whole bunch of other stuff. And they said, if we have to endure a lockdown like what the big blue liberal states enacted, we don't want to go through that anymore. We're moving to Texas. And Texas says, welcome to Texas. How can we help you? So Chevron has its roots in California dating back to 1879. Now they're moving to Texas. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Somebody explained to me Gavin Newsom becoming president of the United States is akin to a really, really, really crappy taco stand. Say it's a taco truck, taco stand. And then it's just horrible. I mean, it's just poorly run. It looks like dog, what. I mean, it's never fully operational. Nothing really works. It's just wonky all the way around. So you take that one taco stand and then you go ahead and franchise it all throughout the nation. That's what having Gavin Newsom as president of the United States would be like. But instead, now he's president of all the states. But I'm sure that'll work out fine. But yeah, that's where we're headed, right? That's where we're headed. So Wirth argued that California's policies are detrimental to consumers, discourage investment, and ultimately harm the state's economy. That would be a solid argument. The relocation of such prominent company highlights the growing tensions between traditional energy firms and states pursuing ambitious climate goals. Why are we pursuing these ambitious climate goals? I mean, how much is it really, really making a difference? How much is it really, really making a difference? Yeah, well, Sean, not a lot, but it's the thought that counts. California's environmental regulations. Over the years, California has adopted the nation's most stringent fuel standards. State requires the production and sales of a unique blend of gas known as California reformulated gasoline. It's the special blend of herbs and seasoning. Now, it's a special blend for California that gives off the least amount of emissions in the United States, which has stricter environmental standards than federal blends used in most other states. That's why you got cheaper gas prices elsewhere. It's not as hard. You don't need the same equipment, just all this different criteria. You've got cheaper gas prices. Man, when I go to Oklahoma City, I'm heading there pretty soon. To see my parents. It's a glorious thing to go to the gas pump here because I'm from Washington State, and we're used to seeing a 5, even a 6 in front of the gas prices. I mean, it's been outrageously expensive, and to see what they are down in Oklahoma, you're like, I can't believe anybody pays this little for gasoline. This is outrageous. This is, let's just take a look real quick. Gas prices, OK City. $2.54? Holy smokes, for regular? You got a 2 in front of your gas price? That is straight up criminal. That is, phew. I'm adding emphasis here, but yeah. So this special formulation in California reduces emissions of pollutants like volatile, yada yada, but it makes the overall cost of the gasoline more expensive because it's more expensive to refine, right? So unintended consequences. Let's go down to that, right? California energy producers must also comply with additional regulations. Shocking. Because of the unique gasoline blend, the state cannot easily import gas from other regions in the event of supply disruptions. This doesn't sound good. If a refinery goes offline due to maintenance or an accident, it's difficult to quickly source replacement fuel from outside the state because other regions don't produce the same gasoline blends. You got a one of a kind. You can only make it there, right? This limited supply flexibility can cause price spikes when there are disruptions, and that is what gruesome Newsom is trying to level out by requiring the refineries to keep these additional volumes of gasoline on hand. And the refineries are saying, hey, you're sticking it to us 10 ways from Sunday. And Newsom is saying, you're price gouging. And meantime, you've got refineries saying, bye-bye, we'll see you later. Hasta luego. Those price spikes in turn can lead to higher profits for some refiners in the state. Well, the ones that are still producing that didn't have to go down for maintenance, they're the only ones doing the business. So they're going to make more money. That's how this works. Oh no, we got to level that out because those spikes, because we self-induced this situation, those spikes, they cost the consumer more. Oh, okay. If one refinery goes offline for unplanned maintenance, the supply of fuel is suddenly reduced. You constricted that supply and you don't have the ability to go laterally somewhere else. That will either result in a price spike or outages. No more fuel for you. This is how old I am. I just turned 56 a week ago. No. Did I? No, Thursday. I'm recording this for you on a Tuesday. Last Thursday, I went 56. I remember going with my dad during the energy crisis of 1970. What was that? I don't even know. I remember you drive up, there'd be a long line waiting for gas, and then you just hoped upon hope that you got some gasoline. I mean, it was like Road Warrior stuff, right? And just, is there any fuel left? Yeah. Therefore, some refiners may see profits surge as fuel prices spike. Okay, because that's what happens when you've got a supply-demand issue. Demand still stays constant, but all of a sudden, you got less supply. What's up? Price goes up. Yeah. California's future. Ultimately, California can pass whatever laws the populace wants with respect to its oil industry. Does the population know and or care? They just want cheaper gasoline. They want cheaper prices for their consumer needs in general. All of this stuff here, to me, I mean, if they want all this regulation, okay, I don't think most people do. Hey, if you have a slightly less clean option, but it costs a lot less, are you going to go with that? Yes, we are. But those companies can also respond, the oil companies we're talking about now. That's what Chevron and now Phillips 66 have done. Hasta luego. We'll see you later. We've got other things to do. We need to optimize our operations where they're already existing, meaning we got to pull out of California. California's unique environmental policies and stringent regulations in the oil industry have created a complex and challenging landscape for energy companies operating in the state and costly for the consumers. But don't worry, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. All right. So as the state continues to pursue its ambitious climate agenda, this climate agenda is insane. Let's just put it that way. It's insane. Washington state's same deal. You're like, what? You're doing what? Why? Oh, because it's better for the environment, Sean. All right. Okay. At what cost? Yeah. It may need to reassess its approach. Talk about California. May need to reassess its approach to ensure a stable energy supply and mitigate the economic impact on consumers. Because that's what this all comes down to. What are you concerned about? You're concerned about, is gasoline going to go to the moon? Am I going to be paying $8 a gallon for a gallon of gasoline in the near future in California if I continue to stay here? That's ultimately the question, isn't it? The ongoing exodus of oil companies from California serves as a cautionary tale for other states considering similar regulatory paths, underscoring the need for carefully calibrated, we're going to tweak it, approach, and that addresses both environmental concerns and economic stability. Can we make this go? And you know what oil companies are saying right now? No. But it's not due to the current regulation that just got enacted. It's not that. Just we were underperforming. This was an asset that's got issues. We need to update it. We don't want to because it's located in California. These moves potentially further restrict California's fuel supply. And here we go. Here is the bottom line, folks, and will likely lead to even higher prices for California's consumers. Wah, wah, wah. I mean, you restrict supply, keep demand the same. Doesn't take a genius to figure that out, does it? No. So restriction, if you want to have your state go in the restrictive direction, this is how you end up. Most other states don't. That's why you've got so many people moving out of California and moving to areas like Florida, Texas, the Dakotas, anywhere else but California at this point in time. I shouldn't say anywhere else. Even Washington State. Washington State sucks up a whole bunch of people from California. Because even though we're still voting just blue, I mean, we're going to vote blue, not me personally, of course, because I'm not a moron, but the rest of the state just goes blue. Well, I shouldn't say the people in Eastern Washington. They don't either. And people down in Southern, it's just the West Coast, isn't it? It's just the West Coast. It's the big cities. They're like, this is great. We need a lot of money. And so therefore we're going to have to tax everybody because, we need our free handouts. We need our freebies. Not happening in the outer areas, is it? Not getting the same freebies. So California just basically, this is self-imposed higher gasoline costs to the consumer. So if you're happy with that, go ahead and keep supporting Governor Gavin Newsom in his quest to level out your supplies and his quest to reduce those spikes and reduce that price gouging. See how that works. Yeah, next summer will be the big telltale, right? Because most of this stuff you'll kind of have an idea. This plant won't be closed down yet, but every season that we go through, every summer that we go through, when there's highest consumption of gasoline, that's when you kind of know, all right, here's what's happening. Here's our supply. Here's our demand. Here's our output. This is what it looks like. All right. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch up with you in the next one. Bye for now.